Are you ready? Mark, you want to lead us through the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. It's March 26, 2020. On my left is Commissioner Aaron Mays, representing District 3, and joining us on my phone is Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2, and I'm Bill Rippon, and I represent District 1. And this is day one of our stay-at-home order, and I know there's a lot of questions out there from a lot of people, but we do have a lot of information on our website. If you go to our Shawnee County website, and so there are some common questions on there and answers, so you can go there and get some of your information. But I know there's a lot of things that kind of fall through the cracks, and we're still working out a lot of those issues and trying to determine what's open, what's not, and where people can go and where they can't. So we're just going to have to live through this and kind of wade through the mire. Having said that, what's first on our agenda?
First item is item 3, consent agenda.
All right. I would move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Just one more, Pat. Could you? There's noise coming through. Could you?
Could we just ask everybody to make sure their phones are muted?
Could everyone mute their phones that's called in? We're getting a lot of background noise.
There we go.
Those of you who are doing your dishes while you called in, so stop that. All right.
Item 4, new business, A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $1,489,470.64. The highlights out of the voucher report, there was our JADO payment, $613,316.68. Capers contributions of $334,302.17. Under equipment, we had $32,198.75. Holding accounts for the state of Kansas, $94,774.04. Health insurance premiums of $104,344.87. And then finally, under Parks and Recreation, we had $79,648.88, of which Topeka Civic Theater made up $51,815.50 as their quarter payment. And I don't have any questions regarding the vouchers and would move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I would move that we approve the correction orders.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item B, Parks and Recreation number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-129-2020 with the United States Department of Agriculture to assist with the management of Canadian geese causing damage and human health and safety concerns by oiling Canadian geese eggs around Lake Shawnee at a cost of $2,775 with funding from the park's operational budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeremy Myers with Shawnee County Parks and Recreation. Each year, the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks and Tourism issues Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Kansas Special Canada Goose Nest Destruction Permit. The purpose for this permit is to reduce the recruitment potential for the overall goose population at Lake Shawnee. With the current population, the mess left behind by the geese and the turf damage is at an extreme level from what the United States Department of Agriculture, the USDA, and the Kansas Department of Wildlife have told us. Canadian geese cause turf damage, leave fecal matter, and causes human health and safety concerns. With this approval, we are hiring the USDA to oil the geese eggs around Lake Shawnee. The USDA that we are working with is stationed at the Forbes Field Delta Airspace Base and have visited with us a couple times this past year on these recommendations for a geese management program that we're developing. Parks and Recreation staff have done this in the past, but the USDA does this on a regular basis and are covering their cost with us hiring them to oil the eggs, as it benefits them as much as it benefits us. The oiling of the geese eggs will take place immediately after approval until late May, and I stand for any questions you may have.
Any questions? I might add that
Don't
these
have any.
geese are not endangered by any means. There's actually millions of Canadian geese, and they're not hunted like they used to be. And they used to be a wild animal, and they've almost become these domesticated animals that we have all over town. So, anyway, having said that, I will move for approval.
I'd second.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Thank you. Thank you.
Item C, Public Works, number 1, consider approval of a combined project budget with an estimated cost of $1,366,000 for the design and construction to replace 2 county culverts with bridges near the intersection of Northwest 39th Street and Northwest Green Hills Road, with funding from the special bridge account.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. Public Works continues to push forward with our road and bridge projects, and an example of that is the 2 bridge structures located near the intersection of Northwest 39th Street and Northwest Green Hills Road. Presently, these structures are culvert size or sub-bridge size, and in order to improve the overtopping frequency of the roads in the area, we've upsized these structures significantly so that now they've become or will become bridge-sized structures. We want to combine the 2 bridges into one project to get better bid prices. And with that, I am here before you asking you to approve a combined project budget of $1.366 million, which will include construction, design, construction engineering, any right-of-way acquisition, utility relocation, and of course, a generous contingency. We have that in there, obviously, to in case we have any unknown issues crop up during construction. The construction costs are indicative of the costs we saw when we led the Southeast 69th Street Bridge here in the last month. So with that, I'll take your questions.
When would time of starting construction on this project?
We would like to let this project late this year. The idea being that this is traditionally kind of the period of the year when there's not a lot of construction going on, and we hope to receive more favorable bids because of that. So again, we hope to let this project late this year, and then construction would carry on into early of 2021.
Kurt, are you guys anticipating a complete closure for this? And if so, for how long?
Yes. I can't tell you how long yet because we haven't established a complete project timeline. But yes, the road would be closed for a short period of time. I'm guessing the bridges would be staggered, so there would always be an alternate way for people to gain access to their property. Both bridges wouldn't necessarily be under construction at the same time. But I cannot give you, at this time, I cannot give you a total time period.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I would move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item
Thank you,
D,
Kurt.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Item D, solid waste. Number 1, consider approval of request to award the bid to Elliott Equipment for one front-end loader truck at a cost of $249,445, including trade-in with funding from the Solid Waste Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Director of Solid Waste. We're requesting one front-end loader truck. 2 vendors submitted bids, and it's our opinion that this is the best and most responsive bid. It's also the lowest bid. It comes in at $249,445. This was in our 2020 equipment budget. There will be no tax funds used for the purchase of this vehicle because we are 100% user fee funded. And stand by for questions, gentlemen.
Any questions?
None, I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item D2, consider approval of request to award the bid to Elliott Equipment for one roll-off truck at a cost of $103,271, including trade-in with funding from the Solid Waste Fund.
Bill Sutton, Solid Waste. We're requesting a singular roll-off truck, the same type of truck you see driving around town quite a bit with various companies. 3 vendors submitted bids. The lowest bid was Elliott Equipment, and we find it, in our opinion, is the best and most responsive bid. Total for this would be $103,271. Again, 100% user fee funded with no tax funds for the purchase of this vehicle. Stand by for questions, gentlemen.
Any questions?
I'd move to approve.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item D3, consider approval of request to award the bid to Truck Component Services for 3 automated side loader trucks at a cost of $569,931, including trade-in with funding from the Solid Waste Fund.
Bill Sutton, Director of Solid Waste. We are requesting 3 side loader trucks. These are typically used for our recycle routes. 3 vendors submitted bids, and it is our opinion that the best and most responsive bid would be Truck Component Services for a total of $569,931. This was not the lowest bid. This was the second lowest bid by the same vendor. The reason we like this particular truck here, it is a different style of automated side loader. On our side loader trucks, the biggest maintenance issue that we have is the side loading mechanism. This particular truck, it is much simpler. Is used extensively in the city of Denver. They have brought the truck out. We have looked at it, and it is our opinion that we'd like to go this route with these 3 trucks. The total price difference is $15,291 over lowest bidder, but again, it is from the same vendor. So we would like to go with this particular model of truck, again, for $569,931. No tax funds and 100% user fee funded. Subject to your questions, gentlemen.
Any questions? I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item D4, consider approval of request to authorize an emergency expenditure of $13,241.21 for driveline repairs to a solid waste truck.
Bill Sutton, Director of Solid Waste. Earlier this month, one of our front loader trucks had some extensive repairs that needed to be complete. This was exceeded the capabilities of my maintenance staff here, so we had to outsource this to MHC Kenworth of Topeka to complete these repairs. You can see the itemized repairs that are in the memo is quite extensive, and these repairs totaled $13,241.21. This will come out of my maintenance budget, which is user fee funded and no tax dollars used. Subject to your questions, gentlemen.
Any questions? I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Bill. Next item.
Item E, Human Resources, number 1, reflect the changes in the employer rate of contribution for the Capers, KPNF, and working after retirement rates effective January 1, 2021.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis with Human Resources. You have before you the 2021 Capers, KPNF, and working after retirement rates. There are slight changes in the 2021 employer contribution. Capers Tier 1, 2, and 3 is up 0.26% or approximately $94,825. KPNF is up 0.87% or $62,709 approximately. We will have to keep in mind that our changes that would be subject to go into effect July 1st would make these rates slightly higher. Working after retirement is up 2.6% from 8.61% to 8.77%, and working after retirement covered over $25,000 remains the same at 30%. Working after retirement less than $25,000 is no increase, and then death and disability insurance Capers only is 1%, which is the same from last year. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions? I would move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Do we have any one who'd like to make any comments at this point?
Yes, Brian Cole, Department of Corrections.
Okay.
I just wanted to be responsible and just kind of continue to give updates regarding a brief update regarding some elevated changes that we've made in response to the COVID emergency in Shawnee County. That in working in coordination, through emails and texts and things like that with Dr. Pizzino and working with our Horizon Health provider, that we have made some elevated our approach in response to our COVID emergency, which specifically means that we're working with the health department, we're working with law enforcement and the visitors, that all inmates, staff, and visitors and law enforcement are subject now to being screened at the specific areas, which means we're asking the appropriate questions regarding travel and screening for symptoms. That we've established one point of entry into the facility for staff, and it's for visitors, it's the front desk or book-in for law enforcement. That we are doing screening of those inmates that are coming back. If they are on work release, we only have 4 people on work release right now that are working in areas that are essential areas deemed by the declaration. For attorneys, this is a highly considered area that right now we are allowing on-site visits and requesting that there be no contact. We can accommodate that and then work with the attorneys. But if attorneys come in, they are going to be screened. But we also are working with our Securus vendor on being able to provide remote access for attorneys and inmates, and we're working with that right now with Securus at being no cost to the attorney in the community. I've met with Betty Griner regarding this and Jim Crow regarding this. So we're still in the process of working with our vendor regarding that, and we're continuing an onslaught of consistent cleaning, laundry, and providing chemicals for sanitation and things like that. As we continue to work our way through all of this, we're working with law enforcement. We're staying very close with the health department, Dusty Nichols, and everybody else, and our healthcare provider regarding any changes. And as soon as we have any changes, I'll make sure the commission is updated, our legal counsel is updated, and our partners and stuff like that. And I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody would have.
Questions?
Brian, I think it's great that you're taking that approach. I know that correctional facilities are a big concern for a lot of folks, and that if something gets in there, it's hard to get out.
Yes, absolutely. That is, I'm staying in pretty good contact with the National Commission on Correctional Health Care, is reading their information, and NIC, National Institute of Corrections, and just staying up with other colleagues to seeing, regarding what other correctional agencies are doing. Obviously, every jurisdiction is different with resources, but that does seem to be one of the highest concerns in most communities is prisons and detention centers regarding any infections that get in. So we're going to do our best.
Brian, you mentioned you screen visitors. What does that mean exactly?
We're following the order from Dr. Brazzino and the health department, meaning we are asking everybody, have you traveled to these specific areas, and or have you had any contact with any known or positive cases of COVID that have been established through the health department. And we also are taking screening for symptoms. Do you have a cough, respiratory, and we're taking a temperature.
Do they have physical contact with any of the inmates, or are they talking to them behind glass? Or
yes,
is now in the conference.
What we are doing is that we are going to, right now, the only visitors we're really getting right now is if it is court personnel or if it's attorney, it will all be non-contact, meaning it will be through glass. If they need a contact visit, we will work with them to make sure everybody is appropriately geared up or the best we can. But we are asking and doing everybody behind on each side of the glass, and then we're cleaning all the phone systems and things like that. But we have mechanisms in place for documents and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
You're welcome, sir.
Linda?
It's Larry Moss, Shawnee County Treasurer.
Yes, Larry.
Yes, just want to announce that the Treasurer's office is closed to all public traffic starting today. We are here answering phones and emails. We do have a drop box at the west end of the courthouse parking lot.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Larry.
Andrew Howell with the Shawnee County Election Office.
Yes, Andrew.
Just wanted to let the public know, and commissioners as well, that we do have limited access for candidate filings and registration. We're encouraging the public to use the mail as well as email service. Please call us if you have questions or if you need an appointment. We can do that on a case-by-case basis, and just encouraging people to use mail and the email, as well as check the website for any documents that you might need. Be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Andrew, Aaron Mays here. Could you speak to some of the steps you guys are taking to prepare for the primary election in August? Should this still be a problem then?
Well, I can. At the moment, because it's far enough out, I'm kind of taking a little bit of a wait-and-see approach to exactly how we're going to approach it. We've had a lot of conversations with the Secretary of State's office as well as other offices, and I think there's still ongoing conversations. We will probably come to the commission once we know a little bit more specifically about how we see that going. But at the moment, I think there's just not enough clarity to really say exactly how we see that working out. But we are considering it, and we're having meetings, like I said, with a number of people trying to figure out the best approach to how we do that.
Thank you.
Probably my bigger concern for the moment is just, again, a reminder that the Democrat Party is actually hosting the elections they are holding for their presidential preference primary. So I encourage people to go to the Democrat website if you would like specific information on that, and encourage people to mail in or email us your registrations. We're doing the best that we can to get those processed, but we do have limited staff. We are, I believe, pretty well caught up at the moment, but depending on how many we get at the last minute, that may end up being a little bit of a challenge. So we are working on that, and just a reminder to the public, if you want to vote in that Democrat presidential preference primary as well, you'll need to contact the party because they have their specific rules, processes, and locations for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Anyone else that's called in?
Angela Lewis with Human Resources. While we are fighting the COVID-19 battle on one front, we aren't giving up the battle to fight breast cancer. The mobile mammography unit will be on site Monday, March 30th, 2020. If you are sick, we'd ask that you reschedule your appointment. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. All right.
Tim Laurent, Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Department. I know we put information out, but I just wanted to remind folks that all of our outdoor facilities are closed. All of our indoor facilities are closed. Our parks, trails, nature areas are open, and we just encourage people when they're using those facilities or those areas that they practice proper social distancing. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I want to talk just briefly about golf courses. We have our golf courses are currently closed. Is that correct?
That is true. I believe that, and I know we're getting a lot of questions about this, and it was not an easy decision to make. But I think that in order to follow the social distancing rules that are out there, I think it was necessary to close the golf courses. I think that the use of carts, the fact that tee boxes are not very big, that golfers converge on every green, on every hole, just really lends itself to a situation that makes it easy to violate the social distancing rules. Can it be done? Yes, it could be. But I think golfers would have to be very diligent to make sure they do that. And then ultimately, I guess, we just want to make sure that we're erring on the side of caution and that we're doing what we to not necessarily encourage people to get outside and come to the golf courses, because we want to make sure that everybody's safe. I think small groups, again, in open space, nature areas is acceptable, and the risk is minimal there as long as you follow the rules. But I think you can get a little bit dicey once we get out on the golf course.
What about disc golf? Can they play disc golf?
Right now we have no way to really close off disc golf course. So if folks want to get out and play disc golf, they can, but we are discouraging it.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Anyone else that's called in? All right. Hearing none. Linda, you're up.
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Oaks from the Health Department. Excuse me. Today we have 18 pending cases, 236 negative, 144 monitoring, and we have 4 positives this morning. We've had another positive, a 49-year-old female. So just to review, of our 4 positives, 3 have travel history. The 4th, we do not have travel history. So at this time, we're considering this community acquired until we know any differently. A couple things I covered last night in the press conference. The Women, Infant, and Children program is still available. If you need these services, you call 251-5607. Also, our immunization clinic is still operating. I gave that phone number the other day. I'm really having trouble remembering phone numbers. So if you need an immunization for children, tetanus, rabies, or you need an STD appointment, or if you have a TB appointment, we are we are continuing those services, following as much as we can the social distancing and keeping a limited staff at the health department. If you have questions, I know Aaron and Dusty are going to give the email address and phone number. If you email me, I'm not going to get back to you till tonight. I mean, I just can't keep up, and I think Jim's experiencing some of the same stuff. Our email boxes are just exploding. So if you want answers to your questions, the best way is to use the system that we have set up. You'll get an answer much more quickly. And the same with the phone number. If you call the health department, we'll get to you as soon as we can, but we're working on limited staff to keep their exposure down. So again, I would encourage the public to use those resources that we have set up. If you're a business and you want to know if you're essential, the link is on the city's website, City of Topeka. And again, I'm not making those decisions, so if you email me, it's going to be a while before you hear from me, and it'll be go to this site and register, and we'll get back with you, the people that are making those decisions. One thing I do want to say about the order, I went over last night about child care. We do need child care for those essential workers to have their children taken care of. So we've gotten an email out to all the child care providers outlining what they need to do. Our child care staff is available to assist them. And one more thing I just want to say about the order. I think the word here is essential. So we only want essential things happening, essential trips. We don't want people just taking Sunday drives. That's not an essential trip. And if you would be in a car accident, you're tying up resources that needed other areas. So please don't put yourself at risk and the community. Stay home. But as Tim said, take a walk. Go to the park, take a walk. Ride your bike. Those are good things. And I took a walk yesterday and it felt great. I kept going. I was late to a meeting because it felt so good. So I really encourage people, take a walk, get out there and walk. You'll feel better, and you'll come out of this in better shape if you can get out and get a little exercise. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you have for me about COVID-19.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Good morning, Commissioners. Aaron Mahan, Shawnee County Emergency Management. First of all, Linda, ditto. Everything that you said. First of all, we really appreciate the citizens of Topeka and Shawnee County that are complying so far with the order that went into effect last night, referenced the safer at home. All I can say is at its root level, it's basically to protect people. The more we can encourage social distancing, staying alone as much by ourselves as we can, the safer we are going to be, not only as individuals, but as a community as a whole. We have established, as Linda was talking about, some contacts to where you can have your questions answered, whether it be about the order itself or whether you are considered an essential service or critical infrastructure. The email address is covid19info@snco.us. covid19info@snco.us. We've also set up a phone bank that is being manned by volunteers from the community and other agencies. They are also there to help you work through those same types of questions. They'll have several different sources of information in front of them, to include Dr. Pizzino's Safer at Home order and the critical infrastructure list, not only from the Department of Homeland Security, but also the guidance and framework that was issued by the Governor's Office of Kansas. That phone number is 785-251-4848. If you have any questions, like I said, we have a total of 6 lines that we have activated for that. So if it does ring busy, give it a few minutes and then call back. We'll do the best we can. So instead of individually emailing Linda or anybody else individually, email that covid19info@snco.us page, and somebody will get back to you probably a lot sooner than it would be if you emailed anybody else. Any questions?
Questions? Thank you, Aaron.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dusty Nichols, Emergency Management. The first thing I want to do is say thank you to all the support, not just from the community, but internally from the city and the county, especially IT. Anytime we call them, they drop and they are on it to help us. And I can't express enough how much I appreciate you guys. I will say, on a lighter note, I really am appreciating the limit that you put on my email prior to this. That was something I'm looking forward to again. But seriously, thank you guys. Thanks to Channel 4, the city, PIOs, and all those guys who are doing that. I want to say thank you to the media. You guys are getting the messages out. We can't express our gratitude enough that you are partners with us right now. So thank you. And this is just a comment for the community. After dealing with phone calls, both positive, negative, getting screamed at on the phone, all that kind of stuff, there's both sides of this. Having to make phone calls to give people bad news that they can't be at certain places for weddings or churches or be present for births, that stinks. That's a horrible job, but that's our job. Please know that this is life safety stuff. We are making decisions. We are the aspect of our community we can, and we're making the best decisions we can to keep everyone safe in our community. Lastly, if you need somebody to tell you that this is real, I'm doing it. This is real. Please obey the orders, the spirit of the orders. Quit trying to find loopholes in the orders. It is real. Thank you.
Jesse. Commissioner Mays, do you have any comments or concerns?
Yeah, I mean, I would echo a lot of what was just said. I mean, it's this whole situation kind of stinks, and we just are all doing the best that we can to make sure that it's for a short time and not a long time. So let's all just do what we need to do right now so that we don't have to do it for a whole lot longer.
Thank you. Commissioner Cook.
Well, I'm just very happy that I'm about to come off of social isolation or self-isolation to come into the safer at home. So this is the family vacation that just doesn't quite end. I just want to thank everybody for everything you're doing and all the work that's being done. And again, as Dusty said, please take this seriously.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I don't think I ever would have dreamed I would have lived through something like this. This is quite a change for all of us, and it's kind of a surreal time. But please try to stay at home when you get out, and only if you need to. Follow the orders, and we're going to get through this. It'll be interesting just to watch and see how many more cases, or if we have any more, and to see where this spikes and then starts heading down. And hopefully in a month or two, maybe we're all back at work again. That's what we hope. But right now we don't know, and we're just going to have to wade through this water. So anyway, I'd like to thank everybody in Shawnee County, Topeka, for being very compliant, and I haven't heard of too many situations where anybody's acted irrational, and I appreciate that. So we'll get through this together. So that's all I have to say. Meeting's adjourned. No executive session today.
Brian Cole.
Hi, Brian. Brian's back on.